Okay. I think I should be okay. Hi. Can you people hear me? Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Let me tell y'all how this computer did not want me to be great. This computer did not want me to be great. This computer didn't want me to be great. I'm so annoyed all day. This was set up, right? This was set up all day, right? All day, all day. This was set up. Now all of a sudden, when it's time for me to go live, the setup acting like it don't have no sense. That annoyed me bad just now. But I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Hi, everybody. I need to move this table over a little bit because, hold on a second. Let me get my life together because I need my mic in front of me. Also, if you're here, because it's 3 people here, and I'm sorry because it was 6 people here. It's 3 people here. If you're here, like the video. If you are here, like the video. Also, if you have the link, send it to your other folks because we is getting into some things today, honey. We is getting into some things. We are getting into some things. Make sure if you're here, go like the video. Go like the video right now. Go like the video. Go like the video. Okay? You can hear me? Good? Great. All right. After you like the video, do me a... Okay. My mic is not 1 check 1 2. Hi Danielle. My mic is not 1 check 1 2 1 2. Okay, please, if you here, go like the video. 5 people, 4 likes. Somebody ain't like the video. Oh my God, girl. So make sure. I hope everybody put their dinner on. That's the thing, right? I was ready. My dinner's cooked. I didn't shower. I flat ironed my wig all good. I got my sip. Do y'all got your sip? Do y'all have y'all sip? Because we're going to talk about some things today. All right. So let me give some rules about the conversations, right? The conversation is ongoing and nobody is exempt from it. So if you have feedback and input that you want to share, make sure that you put it in the chat because I'm going to read it out loud and other folks can respond to you. I might respond to you. We're going to keep this thing live and pumped and going because we got some topics we got to discuss. Pause before we go any further. It's 9 people here. How I know you to step into the room and how I know you greeting me and letting me know you're in the space not is because you like the video. So if you just got here, make sure you go and like the video. Another one thing, that's why I tell you the Pookie got me information. Another thing is make sure you get your sip. Make sure you get your sip, get your food. If you watching me on a big screen, take a picture and send it to me. You know, make sure you got everything you need because we are going to get into some things because this weekend went down. It went down this week. Go like the video. Go like the video, ladies and gentlemen. I see 5 likes and 9 people here. Go like the video. Put the thumbs up. If you don't know how to like the video, that means you're going to go where the thumbs up is and make sure you press that. So it should be dark on your end because then I will let you know that you have liked the video. Right? So we have some topics that we need to discuss. And I'm excited. I'm excited because a lot of stuff dropped this week that I was like, what the hell? But it's on to the break of dawn and we are ready to get information. Right? I want to share some things that I just did recently. I watched just now, literally before I started recording, I was watching the Coi Leray interview. So if you guys want to, we won't talk about it now because I didn't take any notes on it. But if you want to, Coi Leray did an interview with Angie Martinez. I'm not a heavy Coi Leray fan. I don't even really know Coi Leray's music that much. I know some of her TikTok songs. But I did see an interview with her one time on the Breakfast Club. And I was kind of like, Coi Leray, bye. But this new interview that she did with Angie Martinez, it was a really good interview. It was a really good interview, right? So I suggest you guys go and watch because probably on my next Unpopular Opinion, we're going to talk about that interview. I feel like she did a lot of maturing and growing. And I think that we as women especially need to have that conversation about maturity and growth, which is a lot of what we're about to do right now, okay? And first on the docket, Daya, I'm happy you here because the first person on the docket, before I tell y'all who on the docket, is 9 people watching the video and there's only 6 likes. Go like the video. Go put the thumbs up. Go like the video. Now get a sip of your drink because the first up on the docket is none other than Daya's stepsister, Chrisean Rock. Now, I did a whole freaking album dedicated to Chrisean Rock and Blueface's show on Zeus, right? I have a whole album here. So if you guys look through my playlist on here on my YouTube channel, you will see that I did the reviews for their reality show, the first season. And I mean, when I tell you I could not, I'm sorry, Daya said not her half sis, not her step sis, but her whole sis. I apologize, Daya. You're absolutely right. She's first on the docket, right? So I know you guys probably don't know what's going on, but let me tell you about Big Rock, right? Now, I have a love-hate relationship with Big Rock, right? Me and Big Rock, a part of me wants to use my trauma-centered therapeutic skill set to assist Chrisean Rock. I really, really do. I really, really do. But the other part of me that's human and that take me outside of the healing space and the trauma-centered care that I do, the other parts of me cannot stand Chrisean Rock, right? But then there's this third part of me that kind of doesn't want to judge Chrisean because, listen, only thing she doing is living her life out loud, right? Whereas we all have stumbles in the road. It's just that ours is not public, right? We're not on TV, so everybody is not seeing the BS that we're also doing as well as individuals because none of us are perfect. So it's like so many dimensions about how I feel about Chrisean Rock. But let me give y'all the situation. Y'all tell me what y'all think, right? Tamar. I cannot stand Tamar either. Tamar may be the adult Chrisean Rock, right? The older Chrisean Rock. But in any event, right? She has this 10-year anniversary of her Love and War album, and she's trying to do this fake Renaissance tour. Tamar, goodbye, okay? But okay, whatever. I'll take that, right? Now you're trying to come up with your Renaissance tour, aka your 10-year anniversary of Love and War, whatever. So what I'm hearing is that when the celebrities go to certain when the performers go to certain cities and states, if they know somebody in that city and state is popping, they'll invite them out, right? So say, for example, if somebody came to New York, okay, Beyonce is in New York, I'm popping in New York, Beyonce might say, hey, come to my show. And while I'm there, she might shout me out in the audience, or she might bring me up on stage and let me wave and do a little uh-oh with her, right? Okay, whatever the case may be, right? So from what I heard, Chrisean was personally invited by Tamar to come out to the show. Take a sip of your drink. Because Tamar invited her out to the show, she was able to go backstage. She was able to, kind of check in with Tamar. They took some shots together. All of this, right? So now Tamar shared with her that, you're going to come up on the stage, right? So Chrisean jokingly was like, oh my God, I'm going to be with the chorus, right? So she's like, yeah, whatever, just come up on the stage, right? What happened was Tamar didn't clarify, right, with Chrisean that, no, my dear, you won't be performing. You'll just be like coming up there to show face because everybody knows you and you're popular, right? Chrisean, I could tell from when I watched the video, Chrisean automatically assumed that she was performing. Because if you pay attention to the video, Chrisean says, oh, wait, but Tamar, I got to get my manager on the phone. Because I think she thinks like, okay, but if you're going to have me perform, you need to pay me, you need to go through my management. Like, Chrisean honestly believed in her heart of, and believed in her heart of hearts that she was going to perform when she was backstage having that dialogue with Tamar. I'm going to be honest and say, because Tamar is another drama film that I cannot stand, that I believe that Tamar allowed her to run with that narrative. I think she did it on purpose by not correcting her, because I do think that she wanted this whole debacle to take place to draw more attention to her shows. I honestly believe that, right? Which is why I believe she's not saying nothing at the moment. Because I feel like you like the fact that, all this drama is going on and so on and so forth, right? So let me stop for a second. Go like the video. If you just got here, I'm happy that you're here. The only way that I'll know that you're here is you kind of tap on the door and say, Beach, I'm in the building. Go like the video. Hit the thumbs up, like the video. Thanks, you guys. All right. So now, Chrisean is under the impression that she's performing. But I want to say this, right? Chrisean, in my opinion, this is my honest opinion, I don't believe that academically, Chrisean is slow by any stretch of the imagination, right? But I think socially and emotionally, she is very much off, right? And I think because she's so off socially and emotionally, and it's due to trauma. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I think she was born off socially and emotionally. I just think that she has a lot of trauma in her life. And I think that she didn't have a lot of honing and molding from all the adults around her because they were too busy for what it looked like to me getting high and all of that. So she kind of doesn't know how to make good assessments and doesn't catch social cues. So for her, I remember Sister Soldier said this in one of her books. She was like, I'm like an open nerve on an ice cube, which is very like touch and go, right? So for her, she doesn't know how to filter things through and kind of say, let me see what's the best decision to make here. She just very much raw and everything is coming from a traumatized space. So a lot of times when she's expressing how she feel or she's having an interaction with someone, it can most times be negative because she doesn't know how to filter through some of those negative thoughts in that traumatized space and be able to come out on the other side positive. So you're getting her very raw and uncut, which is why a little part of me does feel bad because A, she's young and that can happen. And B, I honestly don't think that in those moments, she can really keep it together because a lot of times when things happen, she say things like, well, I only did that to you because what you did to me. Or I only said that because I felt in that moment I was mad. Chrisean, while that may very well be true, there is a way that you have to respond to things to have situations come out positive and for things to be productive, right? So in any event, Chrisean went out on the stage with Tamar. Now, let me get something else. Not only am I thinking about the fact that she may be off socially and emotionally, most times she's inebriated. Most times she is drunk as a fucking skunk, right? So because she is also a little, because she is off socially and emotionally, when you add alcohol to that, I don't care if you're a person that's on, you become a lunatic. And I am a living testament to being a person that's very much on socially and emotionally. But if you add alcohol to any situation, you may get an offside of me, right? So you have to consider a person who's and then you're adding right, like Scarlett said, like you can't no. So what ends up happening is every time that is all accompanied in a situation, it's a tragedy, right? Because she has made an assessment about the situation, and from then she's going from a space of being off and being drunk, which never is a good outcome. So what happened was she went out on the stage, right? And what I didn't like that Tamar did, that's why I said Tamar's a little gaslighting bitch. And she knew what this was going to lead to, which is why she has been quiet. So now when they out on the stage, Chrisean is doing all this crazy stuff on the stage, telling them cut the music, turn the phone, turn the lights off, light it up, all of these things that wouldn't happen at a general Tamar concert because her crowd is a little bit more older and mature than Chrisean is. And instead of Tamar really like putting a stop to it, she just kept doing stuff like laughing and saying, "This is my little baby," but then she's looking in the camera, making faces like, "Oh my God, what's happening?" So like I said, Tamar contributed to that. I don't care what nobody said. But in any event, it went on. She wouldn't get off the stage. Everybody is looking like, what the hell is going on? She's going to the background singers, telling them what they need to do and aggravating the hell out of them. Then on top of that, she's going to the DJ, telling him to drop her a beat because she wanted to do it's a vibe all the time. She wants to, and they was like, it's a who and it's a what. And the other part about that is right where the frustration comes in with everybody outside of Chrisean that was a part of that production is that was a whole production. Don't get it twisted. People don't just say, "Hey guys, I want to have a concert tomorrow, so we're going to go here and do this." No, that's not the way real life works. Real life works that when you say you're putting together a concert, just like Beyonce Renaissance Tour, it's a whole production team brought in. It's all this practicing. It's stages being built up. It's backdrop. There's all these people you hire. So this is a whole production. So one of the guys there was heated because he got hired to produce everything that would take place at the concert in this city that night, right? So because he felt like, what the hell is going on with my production? He was the one who everybody saw the most upset. Tamar hasn't said anything. In any event, all this is going on, and they never dropped Chrisean a beat so she could do it a vibe all the time. So because they never dropped her a beat, she was mad. I don't know where Tamar disappeared to, but after all of that on the stage, Chrisean, according to the gentleman that explained the story, Chrisean stormed to the back with her whole entourage and was popping junk about not being able to perform because, again, remember, in her mind, she assumed that she would be performing. So they was like, all of them there was like, sweetie, we don't know anything about you performing, so you could go sit down with that, right? What I do think, and this is another thing that I think that they did to kind of gaslight her too, because again, I'm not trying to say she was right. This is just how I kind of view the situation from hearing the stories. When the guy is telling a story, you know how somebody is telling a story to you, but they telling you the story very innocently. So I would tell a story like this. Like, I'll be like, wow, I just walked in a room and I was just so happy and chipper, and Pookie just pushed me. So, Khadija, let me get this straight. You walked in happy, chipper, bubbly, and in love, and he just shoved you down to the ground and tackled you. But of course, I would say it that way so it can lean in my favor. When the guy was telling the story, he was saying that the group he was with was telling Chrisean, nobody knew that you were supposed to perform. We didn't know you were even a part of production. But the way he was saying it was like everybody was like, oh my God, we had no idea. Oh my word. You know, which I don't believe, because most of the folks in that room, not most, the person that they said Chrisean put their hands on, and the person that was explaining the story who put the whole production together, both of them seem to be in the LGBT community. And what I saw from the gentleman who reported it, and also the gentleman who they said they got punched, their personalities don't give me, oh my word, and you know, they're clutching their pearls, and no, they come with fire flame. So what I think happened was, I think when she came back there heated about not being able to perform, I think they got a little sassy with her. And I think because she couldn't assess that you're not supposed to put your hands on anybody when they say something you don't like, because that's what she's used to doing, because she has a lot of trauma, she punched him in the face because she felt like he was playing in her face. Right? So according to the guy that was telling the story, she punched one of the guys in the nose. The tooth came out. The nose wouldn't stop bleeding. All of these things happened. So the guy from production was mortified. Right? So he went online and he was cursing Chrisean for filth, right? Saying that he's going to sue her. That was his production. He didn't know she did music. He thought she just worked on Zeus Network. All of these things, right? But even in him sharing the story, I could see the sarcasm. So the way he was trying to explain it was being so nice to Chrisean and she just lost it. No, I think they were being sassy, and I think she did lose it. But I also feel like whether they were being sassy or not, Chrisean would have lost it. Chrisean would have lost it. Because I think Chrisean views things through a traumatized lens. So every single time, it's her natural reaction to results of violence, right? And what aggravates me about that is whenever she does it, I would personally rather if she stood 10 toes down in it and said, listen, this is what I did, and so what? What she does is, no, I'm the victim and I didn't do anything wrong. Everybody did something to me, and that irritates me. That irritates me because grow up. And if you really can't grow up and it's that level of trauma, seek help. You have the means and the money, according to you, to seek help. But you cannot go around doing these things and then telling people, y'all don't know what I've been through, or y'all don't know what my life is about, and they should accept that because of that, because that's not fair to the rest of the world. That's not fair to the rest of the world. I wasn't raised by wolves. So for me, anybody just automatically, when I say something punching me in my face, presents an issue for me, because why are you touching me? Why can't we have a discussion? What is wrong with you? So for Chrisean, I just get so annoyed because I feel like also oftentimes the rest of the world makes excuses for her. And am I saying she doesn't deserve empathy and compassion? Not at all. But at some point as a young adult, she has to be held accountable. Because if not, and at 23 years old, this is how you going on. If you keep surrounding yourself with people that keep telling you it's okay, you didn't know any better, you're going to be doing that at 43 years old and at 63 years old. And that makes absolutely no sense. Not when you're raising children and you're trying to be a productive member of society. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. So for Chrisean, I don't know what's going to happen because according to her, she said she only get disrespectful when she feel disrespected. And I saw somebody right under the post, but you always feel disrespected, which I totally agree with. Because there's nothing wrong with Chrisean being upset about not performing. There's nothing wrong with her going backstage to see what happened, why she couldn't perform. There's nothing wrong with her even confronting the person that she may have felt was being disrespectful to her about being disrespectful about the fact that she thought or there was some confusion surrounding her performance. My issue is, why the fuck did you touch that man? Why? And don't tell me because he said, like, he can say whatever he wants. He can say whatever he wants. Another thing is, not only can he say whatever he wants, you can also do whatever you want. But when she's the fan and they trying to lock your ass up, I don't want everybody on live talk about, don't do that to her. She a new mother. She also knew that when she punched the man in the face. So that's on your girl Chrisean. I want y'all to go look at that article. The man that told the story was so funny. He was like, she is going to prison and can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller Records. The way he was telling the story was so animated and funny. And again, Tamar ain't said nothing because Tamar want all this publicity surrounding her concert. So she just going on letting it ride. They said the guy who she actually punched, he did come out and say he was assaulted and blah, 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 but he has yet to say Chrisean's name. And what I think is Tamar and that guy that got punched, they feel like Chrisean is America's sweetheart, so they're a little apprehensive about the way they want to approach this, So we're going to see how this turned out. But I don't have no remorse for Chrisean. I feel like she felt disrespected. She did what she had to do. I feel like she should also be able to bear the brunt of what the law enforcement have to do after the fact. Okay? So that's my take on that. But let's look at the chat. Let me see who popped the jump, right? Daya said Chrisean be getting booked for things, so she know what a booking feel like. They was whack for that. And she said, I need to see this. Somebody else said, yeah, Tamar could have wrapped it up a long time ago. She allowed it to go on. And Pookie said, we're on drugs. And Khalil said, Tamar is an opportunist. Chrisean is slow and drunk, and that's a bad mix. I agree. Right, that's how I know it was BS. Oh, that's Daya. Daya love, that's Chrisean's sister. So she's gonna take her. She's a Seki. Okay. Khalil said, people could have said what they want. They don't. You don't hit them when it's business. This is not the streets. She's always playing victim. And Daya said, but that man knows she punched people in the face, so so he should have just washed his face. And then somebody else said, I agree. Oh my God. So yeah, and Pookie said she better get that checkbook ready. And that's what I feel too. I feel like after a while, folks are gonna start suing, which is what they need to do so it can hit your pockets so you can know this is not a game. This is not a game. You cannot go around putting your hands on people. But if you think that's okay, that's fine. You just have to be prepared for how they sue the door out you after and how you lose a lot of business because people don't want to be bothered with doing business with you because you're like a younger version of Celine. But okay. All right, let's get on with it. We're gonna move past your girl Chrisean. Leave the rest of your comments in the chat. I'll try to come back to them at some point. I want to move on to, are you guys familiar with, and you guys can give me a thumbs up if you're familiar with the Chris Brown, Omarion, Herbo situation. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Y'all know what happened with that? So let me just give my take on this, right? What's on my bag? I actually watched the Omarion and Jason Lee interview. It's on Hollywood Unlocked. It was a really good interview. Because the one thing that I do like about Omarion, if he is pump faking about being unbothered, my boy does a good job at it. He does a very good job at it. Omarion is very well media trained, which sends April through the roof because she had a whole meltdown about that interview. But Omarion is very well media trained. So a lot of his interview with Jason Lee was very good from a growth and from a growth mindset and also from a mature standpoint. I like the way he is regarding, his spirituality, his boundaries. The way he interviews is very good. And again, it could be OBS, but he know what to say to lay it on thick. Anyway, in the interview, he got asked some questions by Jason Lee because apparently at one point him and Jason Lee used to hang out in LA together, and Jason Lee used to have all the women around, and at that time he was single and trying to get with somebody, so he was hanging around Jason Lee to get all around ladies and all of that, right? At one point, he was around Jason Lee and Karrueche was around Jason Lee. So Jason Lee felt like Karrueche and Omarion would be a good matchup, so he was trying to get them to get together, but it never ended up materializing. Karrueche got with Chris Brown. So Omarion didn't have much to say about that. Really, it was Jason Lee who spoke about it, and Omarion just confirmed or denied what was true or what was false. That was it, right? He didn't have much to say. So after that, then Jason Lee started asking about, them as performers and as dancers, and do he feel like he's comparable to Chris Brown and all this stuff. And basically what I got, what is wrong with this man? What I got from Omarion was that he feels like in his own right, he's respected as a performer, and he feels like that Chris Brown is respected as a performer, and he feels like they respect each other as performers. He didn't really, in my opinion, again, he's very well media trained, so his interviews are very polite and friendly and safe, right? So if you get offended, it kind of look like you bugging out because everything he said is kind of nice and positive because he's on this Zen, unbothered vibe, right? Well, in any event, your man Breezy started popping shit and pounced on Omarion, right? And I was all a little annoyed about the pouncing because initially when I saw what happened, I only saw when he pounced on Omarion. I didn't see the interview yet. So I'm like, Lord, what did Omarion do now? They got Chris Breezy riled up because y'all know they said Chris Breezy can sometimes be on the book of sugar. And they said when he on the book of sugar, he could tee up on everybody. I kind of believe it because I always hear about him curse somebody out and want to fight and yada, yada, yada. Like Breezy, right? So it's whatever. But anyway, he pounced on Omarion and cursed him out on his Instagram, right? Once again, Omarion ain't have two words to say because I guess in his mind is like, I didn't say nothing bad about you, so what would upset you? I don't know. And really, truly, I don't care because I'm unbothered. Oh, right? Okay, no problem. I mean, they didn't have no verbiage about it because Omarion never responded to all the slick shit Chris Brown said. But what I did hear was Chris Brown don't bang with Jason Lee either. So I think that his comments could have been for either one, Jason Lee or Omarion, right? Either way, neither one of them said two words. Now fast forward. Chris Brown had an interview with Funny Marco. Now, I've never watched none of Funny Marco interviews. I probably wouldn't know who Funny Marco was, but the only reason why he got on my radar is because Herbo, and I think it was Southside, was supposed to be disrespecting him and violating him in the interview he did with them. But according to everybody, Funny Marco was like a funny guy who tries to like prank everybody and put everybody in the hot seat. So what they said was when Herbo and Southside went up there, they was kind of trying to do to Funny Marco what he normally does to people. But according to the public, they said that Southside and Herbo kind of took it too far. So everybody was commenting on, wow, like Herbo and Southside really came up there and violated Funny Marco. That wasn't cool, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to give you my take on it. Let me scale back a little bit. I don't know if I do know a Herbo song. I didn't know it was Herbo. I'm going to be honest with you, right? Only thing I know is this is what I know. I know that you're from Chirac. You changed your life. You're a nice guy now dating a new girl, and you got all this baby mama drama, right? That's what attracted me to Herbo as I don't want to call it fan, but that's what put you on my radar. Is because they said you was a part of Chirac Demons. You had kind of turned your life around, and you was trying to live a different life. I always saw you as being so nice because I really paid attention to your interactions with your new woman. I don't know if they're together right now, Taina, right? So I always called Herbo my nephew and Taina my niece. I know you for being a nice guy. So when I watched the little clips of what he did to Funny Marco in an interview, it turned me off because I felt like I always had the perspective in my mind, and what put you on my radar was that you're a nice young man. So to see you be so malicious to this guy who you could look at him and see he didn't want that type of smoke, it annoyed me. So I was like, Herbo, get your fucking teeth fixed. I'm over your ass. So anyway, that pissed me off about him, right? So now everybody was talking about how Herbo and his friend Southside, which is Young Miami baby father, had disrespected Funny Marco on the interview. Like it went worldwide. Everybody was pissed off. Like, why would y'all do that to him? Blah, 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 right? Fine. Fast forward, Chris Brown had an interview with Funny Marco. And during the course of the interview, Chris Brown said, well, why was you letting G Herbo and them tee up on you like that. So whatever Funny Marco response was, that's all. That was the gist of it from what I seen, right? But child, G Herbo went online and he said that the next put their name in his mouth, next one put his name in his mouth, he got smoke for them. This was said after Chris Brown interview was released asking about G Herbo on that interview, right? So I wanted to know what's going on because Breezy, one thing I know about you, you don't let up off of smoke. You argue with everybody at any time. You addressing anything. You my son, I'm cool with you. But from what I hear, before G Herbo life was changed, and again, I didn't have G Herbo to think about before his life was changed. I just know him from being the cool young guy that was dating Taina and having a baby about problems with Ari. So I didn't know he was a Chirac demon, but Pookie made sure to make me aware that he's a Chirac demon. He created the demons. He do exorcisms and everything under the sun. So see, Breezy wouldn't want no smoke with him. And I was like, well, we gonna see, because I ain't never see Breezy back down from over the smoke. So we gonna see what's going on. So now in new news, they said that Breezy came back and said, no, it's no smoke. G Herbo is my brother. And then G Herbo came after that and said, I was not talking about Breezy. Both of their ass was scared. I don't want to hear that. Both of them scared. Don't get no Chirac demon. Don't give me no Booger Sugar Chris. I don't want to hear none of that, because at the end of the day, you released that statement after Chris Brown said what he said. Who was you talking about, Herbo? Who mentioned you? Who else mentioned you, Herbo? Who was you talking about? And Breezy, you didn't want no smoke with what they call the Chirac demons, which I thought you don't be ducking no smoke. According to you, you a secret dancing blood and all of that. So I thought you wanted the smoke. But you hurried up and cleaned that up and said y'all was brothers and cousins in the blood nation and used to hang out and shop. All this bullshit. Was both of y'all scared? So that part annoyed me. But what annoyed me even more was Breezy. You literally pounced on Omarion. Pounced. When his comment was so cool and calm and collective in his interview, you dived on Omarion. Where was that diving from them Chirac demons? See, I don't like nobody picking and choosing. I don't like nobody picking and choosing. That irritates me. That gets my pressure up. If it's smoke, it's smoke for everybody. If there's no smoke, it's no smoke. If it's no smoke, it's no smoke. If it's smoke, it's smoke for everybody. But don't pick and choose who you want to have smoke with. Don't do that to Zen Win Omarion. He is unbothered. Don't pounce on him because he's healing. Leave him alone. But I'm going to tell you something. That's what people do to people that's on their healing journey. And that's why I took it personal. That's why I took it personal, because people will really play in your face when you're trying to be a better person. And then when a Chirac demon come out of you, everybody looking at you like, I knew you wasn't healing. I knew that was all a front. And I knew you was a fraud. No, I really was trying, but how much can you take? How much can you take? So I feel like, see, Breezy, you only did that because you know Omarion's aesthetic is, no, I'm doing hot yoga and I'm breathing and I'm healing and I'm looking at the mountains and I'm putting stones and crystals on and all this nonsense. So you knew he wasn't going to have that type of energy with you. That's why you pounced on him. But when it came to G Herbo rocks in his fucking mouth, you up there, so, oh, that's my brother. Oh, is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Because you pounced on everybody else. I didn't like that. So I got smoke with CB and I got smoke for Herbo too, because you tried to retract your statement too much. Who you talking about? Who you talking about, Herbo? Who else discussing you? Read the room. But anyway, let's go look at the chat. So Noodles, hold on. I got to try to pull it up a little bit so I can see what folks have said. Hey, Noodles, I didn't know you was in the Spitz naive. So Noodles said, hold on. Let me scroll up a little more. Noodle said, because I was saying I didn't really know G Herbo songs, and Noodles was like, that's all I know too. I don't know not one song. And Kalila said they went too far. That was bullying. Speaking about Southside and G Herbo. Yeah, I didn't watch it, Lila. I just saw everybody talking about it. And I was disappointed in G Herbo because, again, I thought you was a nice guy, right? And Noodle said G Herbo was acting out because he's going to jail, which is what I feel as well. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, him and my niece is over too. Who knows? Kalila said, breaking his watch, snatching his hat, being mad aggressive. Yeah, I also think, ding, 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 I think they was drunk. Do they drink on Funny Marco show? And then Pookie said he's stressed out. And then the battle of the light brights. Oh my God, yes. And Pookie said you got to put people in their place. People get out of hand sometimes. And Sayuri said Herbo's on drugs. And then they said, nah, bring Pookie in because he got the teeth. And Sayuri said, get the teeth fixed and attend your child missing graduations and whatnot via the Impact. Yes, I watched the Impact. Yes. So Kalila said he cleaned it up. He know breezy body. And Pookie said people be having pics. Yes. Okay, he put the Pyru killers with him. Okay, he got the Pyru folks. Yeah, it was just sad because I don't like the fact that don't pick and choose. Don't pick and choose. And one thing about Omarion is then when. Omarion don't want no smoke. He was up there explaining to Jason Lee how he do high yoga and how he protecting his peace. And I'm with Omarion. One of the things that he said that I liked is he's like, don't push a peaceful person. And I was having this conversation with some of my people as well. It was like, when people are trying to be at peace and trying to keep their level of drama down and trying to keep some form of, peace and love in their life, when you have situations around them that's so chaotic, it will stress them out because it's like you asking for them to respond to something and they trying to keep the peace. They is trying to keep the peace. But all right. We done with that. Y'all leave the rest of y'all comments in the chat. Y'all know who we got to go to next. Go get your drink. We got to go to somebody. Make sure you are putting your likes in the chat. Not in the chat. Make sure you're liking the video. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're liking the video. Again, if you're watching me on the big screen, if you're watching me on your phone, please make sure you screenshot it, screen record it, and send me the videos. I love to see what is wrong with this bag. I love to see that people are watching and tuning in, right? Okay. Y'all want to talk about KeKe Palmer? Let's talk about KeKe. Let's talk about KeKe Palmer. I'm gonna need everybody to go and copy and paste and send this link to their homegirls because let's talk about KeKe Palmer. Y'all want to talk about KeKe Palmer? Put the thumbs up in the chat if y'all want to talk about KeKe Palmer. Let's talk about Big Key. Let's talk about Big Key. Big Key. Before I discuss Big Key, I want to be very clear, right? Because of course, last month was domestic violence awareness month. Also, I lost a very good childhood friend to domestic violence, and I also don't want to joke about domestic violence, right? I don't want to joke about domestic violence because number one, I have not been personally a victim of it, but I have witnessed it, and to see it is heartbreaking. So I can imagine how heartbreaking it is to be a victim of it, right? I also think it's very hard to have conversations about it because I really believe in my heart and soul that it's a situation that unless you yourself is dead smack in the throes of it, you could never identify with what folks are going through, right? So let me preface this conversation by saying I am not at all joking about the domestic violence that has been brought to the forefront in KeKe Palmer, her baby father situation. That's not the case, right? What I am concerned about, though, and that this is just me being real and being me, right, is everything surrounding the domestic violence in KeKe situation. Because I want to say this, and I think this might offend a few people, but I want to say it and I want to be clear when I say it, right? I'm very much aware that folks want to protect Black women. I am a Black woman through and through. So I'm very clear that folks want to protect Black women. I'm going to ask a favor for myself. I'm not even going to speak for all Black women. I'm going to speak for Khadijah. Please, and I'm begging you, please do not protect me so much to a point that you enable me. That's all I'm going to ask. So in any event, I want to be protected, but I also want to be held accountable. So if you protecting me means you have to enable me, don't protect me. And I want to make that loud and clear. If you protecting me means that you have to enable me, don't protect me. Don't protect me, because what I do believe is in protecting Black women, sometimes folks can enable certain behaviors. And what ends up happening is you have a particular situation where you have protected a Black woman from all of the circumstances around her, but she has not learned the lesson from those circumstances. So because of that, she slides and glides about that one, but then she turns around and has the same situation again because she was never held accountable and she never learned any lessons. Do not protect me to that degree, because at that point you are enabling me. I do not want to be enabled. I don't. You know why I don't want to be enabled? Because when I look up and look around, I'm going to blame everybody else for my circumstances, and I'm never going to grow. And in life, that is literally the only thing that you're supposed to do. So let me be very clear. I want to be protected as a Black woman. But if protecting me as a Black woman means that you have to enable me, then please do not do that to me. That's my only request. Again, I can't speak for other Black women. I'm speaking for myself. Let me say this to the folks that are in the chat that are Black women, because most of you are my close friends or my family. I am not enabling you. So if that looks like I'm not protecting you, I'm okay with having a response, with having the narrative be painted that I'm not protecting you. Okay, I'll take that. What I will also take credit for is the fact that you will grow from that situation, since I didn't enable you, because this makes no sense, right? Something with this KeKe Palmer situation made something stir up in me. First of all, I saw with my own two eyes what the rest of the world saw. He physically abused this young woman. So no, I don't think she's making it up. No, I don't think none of it was her fault. No, I don't think she did anything to bring this on. I don't think it's okay. None of that is what I'm saying. But let's have the discussion, right? Before I go, let's see what they're saying in the chat. Let's get to KeKe. KeKe, now after you drop, whooped, Usher, I know you ain't think your man was gonna hug you. Ooh. How is it possible for a person who appears to be well put together, mature, have family and support, a successful fall victim of abuse? We're gonna have that conversation. Anybody can get it. Wow. You got to make better assessments of people. She knew that boy. She knew that boy had it in him. Lord. All right. So I'm going to tell you what I heard about the situation, right? What I heard was that KeKe and this guy have been dating off and on since 2021, right? In the dating of the off and on situation, 1 minute we in love, next minute we this, but we're not a couple all of that time. What KeKe did admit to, from my understanding, was that they were very good friends, but they were friends that was fucking, right? So we're not claiming each other as a couple yet, but we do us, but it's not a label on it yet. We just good friends. Then it got to a point, I think at one point, where he had kind of made it hot and said, oh, we're in a relationship and I love you and we help each other and all this nonsense, right? According to what the report said, right? So then it came out that, yes, KeKe, Shantae's got a man at home, right? Okay, got it. KeKe got a man. It's lit, yada, yada, yada. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this man. I don't know how lit KeKe wanted it to be. All right, y'all, I'm going to leave my hair alone. Y'all going to be cursing me out about this tomorrow. Like, why you always bothering me? KeKe, I don't know, she wanted it out. But anyway, he, I think, revealed it first. Then it got quiet. The next thing you know, KeKe popped up. She was pregnant. So now once she was pregnant, it's like, okay, well, this is my man. We go together. We in love, blah, 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 right? They have the baby, Cleophas. So that's the, what the hell? KeKe, is this the color purple? I said, what's KeKe name of this man? I think the baby name is Cleophas or Leotis or something. KeKe, now that wasn't fair to that baby. Is that the grandfather name? Come on, don't do that, KeKe. But in any event, right? KeKe had the baby. Now, KeKe had the baby, and according to KeKe, they in love. Everything is going smooth. Fast forward to KeKe attending the Usher concert. KeKe attended the Usher concert, and she get the same treatment everybody else get at the Usher concert. Usher serenading you. He bringing you down. He slow whining you. I'm going to tell y'all a story, sidebar. Years ago, me and Melina, shout out Melina, we went to an Usher concert in Madison Square Garden. Ask Melina, am I lying? At one point, I want to say, I think it was on Nice and Slow, but I can't remember what song it was verbatim. A bed came out the stage. Usher got some girl out the audience. He put the girl on the bed. All while he's singing, he laid the girl on the bed. He got on top of her, and Usher dry screwed that girl all the way to the bed, went down into the door on stage. And okay, Usher. Okay. So I know what he's doing at his residency is getting people pregnant. Okay, fine. That's what's going on. You know what's going on when you head out there. I didn't head out there. I got a man. When I seen Usher dry humping the MSG, I didn't have a man. Right now, I'm not at Usher residency. I'm home with Pookie. I got respect for my shit. KeKe didn't. So KeKe went to the situation and KeKe got dry humped. Okay, that's on KeKe. KeKe got dry humped. KeKe had on her butt naked dress. KeKe was ready. She was coming out of postpartum, and KeKe said it was up and it was stuck with Usher that night, right? So after KeKe got nailed to the cross at the concert, the baby father had spun around like the Exorcist. Now wait now. Now wait now. So he went public with his statement about how his Jezebel of a baby mother that went on over here and let another man impregnate her one night and in front of for the world to see. And he just feel like, as a man, he should not allow his, I guess, fucking concubine, because I don't see the ring. But anyway, go out there and get dry humped. That ain't right, right? So everybody jumped on the baby father. Again, pounced on him. The same way Prince pounced on Omarion, the world pounced on Darius. They need him, uppercutted him, stabbed him, and choked him. Do not America's sweetheart KeKe, right? Nobody to say KeKe did nothing wrong. It don't matter if KeKe want to go out after postpartum and spread it wide and lay it low. You're supposed to allow it because the world loves KeKe, and you're not going to talk like that about KeKe. That's what the world said, right? They pounced on Darius, stabbed him in the throat, cut his heart out, and everything else, right? All the social medias was deleted. They reported on because you're not going to play with America's sweetheart, right? After they pounced on Darius, a couple of weeks later, Darius and KeKe is there, lovey-dovey, and KeKe said, y'all mind your business. Y'all mind your business. Me and my man worked it out. Y'all mind your business. Now, I was never in KeKe business from the gate. So when KeKe said to mind your business, I wasn't offended by that comment because I was never in KeKe business from the gate. I said KeKe going through what KeKe going through with her own man. That ain't my business. So when KeKe told the world of my business, the world was mortified. They was like, now wait now, KeKe. We was trying to have your back. Now what now? You know, so anyway, it went left, right? No, it didn't go left. KeKe was back in love and the world was minding their business. They're not going to go against America's sweetheart, which I totally understand, right? So this recent turn of events, right? KeKe called the police and KeKe went down to the courts and got a restraining order. In the documents, I didn't read through them myself, but I watched 3 videos where people did read through them. So I got to hear all the details. And according to KeKe, right, he had been pouncing on her since 2021, right? Body slamming her, manhandling her, and so on and so forth, right? And this last time was the final straw because she had the home security footage because he was manhandling and body slamming her, and she wasn't going to deal with that again, right? So she went and got a restraining order, and she's asking for sole custody of their son, and she feel like her life is in danger because he also threatened to not only, if she was not going to be with him, he would kill himself, and so on and so forth, right? So that all flew out. Everything came out. So it's like, okay, got it, KeKe. You are making a choice to get out this domestic violence situation, which the world applauds you because you don't need to be with nobody putting their hands on you. So after that happened, right? I think the incident happened like November 5th. She may have went down to the courts November 9th, something like that. It took a few days, but she got it done. Afterwards, the brother. So I don't know if you guys watched Insecure, but it was one of the guys who played on Insecure. He is KeKe baby father brother. He came forward and he had put out a message that basically said, he didn't say who, he just said whoever he was speaking about is the most manipulative, insecure, antagonistic, yada yada person on the planet, and it's gonna come to fruition who that is, right? He didn't put a name on that, he just put that out on Twitter. Once he put that out on Twitter, KeKe mama entered the group chat. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but I remember Lila, remember me and you went to see Akila and the B and all that. I kept up with KeKe career, so to speak. And I ain't never seen the mama. So when the mama entered the group chat, I said, God, this must be real, right? So the mama entered the group chat and the mama cursed the baby father brother out. She proceeded to say how she went to him and told him that his brother had been abusing KeKe way back when. And the brother said to him something pertaining to the fact of, oh, I told him that, or oh, he got that from me. And she don't appreciate that. Don't be coming out trying to go against her daughter because she gonna stand 10 toes down for us. Right? That's what the mama said, right? So after she said all that, the brother came out with another statement and said, now hold on, Hollywood. I never told you nothing about, oh, he got that from me. I never said that to you. He was like, but since you like to speak, everybody's going to hear your voice very soon, right? That's what the brother said, and he checked out the group chat. So here we are, right? We're here where KeKe was granted full custody of the son and a restraining order. And now, once again, she's back in America's good graces. She's America's sweetheart, and everybody is ready to ride on Darius, who's the baby father for KeKe, for the nut shit that he did. On top of that, why people are really, really more adamant about diving on Darius is because she released the footage from her cameras at home, and he definitely was putting his hands on his skirt. He definitely was putting his hands on his skirt. Body slamming her on couches and grabbing her. It was too aggressive for me. It was too aggressive for me. And see, me, the girl, I don't got it in me, because the way I would have gutted Darius' ass like a fish in there, it would have been a sad sight to see when everybody would have showed up. So God bless KeKe for having the strength to just, back one down and go on and call the cops. Because child, we'd have been in there going toe to toe. And I would have lost. He's a man. I can't win, but I'd still put up a good fight. And once I see I can't win, where's the sharp objects? I'm sorry, that's just me. I don't want to put their hands on me. Do not touch me. There's no reason for you to touch me. I don't care what I say. I don't care what go on. Do not touch me. And in the video, the part that leaked was him body slamming and throwing her around and grabbing her and being too aggressive with a woman, especially a woman that you have a child with. And also because what it was freeze frame. They didn't show the actual video. You saw pictures of it. So they didn't show what was happening prior to, and you couldn't see the entire video. You just see the parts where, of course, he is abusing her. Now, when this first initially came out, right? I want to say this, and I want to say this to all people, because everybody gets in romantic relationships. It's a thin line that you have to tread when it comes to your relationship. I don't publicly announce if and when Pookie and I are on bad terms, but my close family and friends know. I do not save face. I do not save face. Because another thing that happened here is something that I didn't like when I watched prior interviews, is that KeKe did a lot of saving face for this man. And then in the end, when you start to pour out all of the things he did, everybody now is looking shocked and appalled. Like, well, girl, when that was happening, because in every interview you said y'all in love and we should mind our business. So do not save face in relationships for other people, because the person that loves and cares about you won't put you in a predicament to have to. Now, granted, I'm not saying KeKe should have got on the news and announced that, you know what, listen, this could be beating on me and the world should know. No, that was their own private business, and she can share whatever she felt the need to. But I think her immediate circle should have known the extent of which he will go to, because they also are the folks that will protect you. Which brings me to my next statement, that it goes back to what I shared with you guys about the whole protect me but don't enable me. I never forget this. I would never forget this. When I was younger, I had a friend, right? And I always was a bossy person, hence my name on Instagram. That's just who I am, right? I try to navigate it a little better as an adult, but I do know that I'm a person that have a very dominant spirit, right? It was much worse when I was younger because I didn't know that I needed to tame it. So it would be right there front and center in your face. So most of my friends that I hung around with, I would try to boss them around, right? And I had one friend in particular that would be a little bit more submissive to who I was, right? And that person's parent did not listen to she said. I mean, that person didn't listen to shit her parents said, ever, never. But I could more so kind of, in a sense, tell her what to do, right? And because the parent saw that, the parent approached me and said to me, "Oh, you don't need to hang out with my daughter no more. Stay away from my daughter," whatever the verbiage was. And I was like, wow, first of all, my feelings was hurt because I felt like an adult is approaching me and chastising me about something that I honestly don't feel that I'm doing is wrong. I'm not telling her not to listen to you. She just doesn't listen to you. You're just upset that she listens to me. But the issue that I always felt, and I still feel to this day, is if you are the spouse of a person, you gave birth to a person, you're the family member of a person, or you are friends with the person. If you have something that you want to share with that person about their behaviors or things that may be going on around them, you need to do that with that person. But going to everybody around them because you can't say anything to your person, to me, makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense because it's not fair to other people to listen to you when you can't even get your person to listen to you. And that's what I saw when KeKe Palmer's mother made the statement that she had went to KeKe Palmer's baby father brother and said, "Your brother is abusing my daughter," right? What the fuck you want me to do? I can have a conversation with my brother. I can also have the conversation with my brother and make him stay away from your daughter, but I can't make your daughter stay away from him. So before you come to me to have any conversation about what my brother is doing to your daughter, did you have any conversation with your daughter? And I felt the fact that she was pointing out that the brother didn't do anything. It made me feel like you were taking the ownership of what the fuck you should have been doing. Because I'm telling you right now, no matter how much my mother adores Pookie, if we're going through something and I'm getting dragged over here, my mother is not calling Pookie. My mother is not calling Pookie's father. My mother is not calling Pookie's brother. My mother is calling her fucking daughter because that's who I can speak to. What the fuck you got going on over there? And if I wanted to stop, it stops with you. It starts with you. It's not me calling anybody else around you because that lets the other people around you know you have no control over your person. I'm not letting nobody have control over me, and I'm definitely not letting you have no control over me when you don't even have no control over me you shit out. No. So I feel like with the brother, I would understand her coming to him. I will also understand him saying, "Okay, I'm gonna speak to my brother." I will also understand him stopping the brother. But what was that gonna do if KeKe wasn't stopping as well? And it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. If the mother was approaching the brother in 2021 about him abusing KeKe, why the fuck was KeKe having a baby in 2023? Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Also, I find it fishy to only receive freeze frame footage, right? Because clearly that was a video. So a lot of other motion took place aside from what Darius did. Let's see what everybody else is doing. Because really and truly, this is how I feel. I do feel like Darius is trash for putting his hands on KeKe, and I do feel like he needs a restraining order put against him because you are very disrespectful. But I also feel like if we don't address what KeKe could have done in a situation as well to bring that type of energy into the space, then after this situation, we would get Darius out. She would be America's sweetheart. But then we would be dealing with another DV situation in the future because she didn't learn from this one. Because everybody kind of just grabbed her up and coddled her and hugged her and told her she didn't do anything wrong and she's the best person in the world. Yeah, she is. But there's also some fault to be had for her. And I think we need to discuss that before we just dive on Darius. I'm not taking away. Darius needs to be dived on. I want to dive on him personally myself. But I also want KeKe dived on too. Because I need you to understand that this situation could have been prevented if you would have taken some steps. Right? And I think that nobody wants to put the ownership on KeKe because A, she's a Black woman and we must protect them. B, the freeze frame footage came out of everything that he did. And C, she's America's sweetheart, right? As a mother, like I told you, my mother adores Pookie. It would be no reason for my mother. And she would tell me that to my face. If I said to her, well, Ma, he hit me, my mother would say, what the fuck are you telling me what he did for her? Is he in your home? Then this is on you, Khadija. And I think when we don't allow folks to take accountability for the part that they play, they repeat these mistakes again. They repeat these mistakes again. So this is not the only DV situation KeKe will have if she does not learn from this one, which is let's hold you accountable and let's find out everything that happened, not everything that happened, not just the parts that glorify you. And that's just genuinely how I feel. If we being honest, you know what I think? I think KeKe and that man been locking ass from day one. I think KeKe and that man been locking ass from day one. I'm going to tell you something. Everybody has a family member that's always going through something with a spouse and you just let it go. So like case in point, right? You will have a cousin that will call you or a sister that will call you or auntie that will call you and be like, girl, me and Johnny, we was in here fighting down because why would he tear my skirt up? That's nothing new to you. So you like, girl, you and Johnny need to stop that. Girl, I'll speak to you later. I think that's what was going on with them. That's what I think was going on with them. I think that KeKe and that man Ben was locking ass, and both families is taking up for their person. But I think that been going on since they got together. And what I think happened was it escalated to them having a baby because they both grown. We can't tell them to leave each other alone. They won't. All they doing is fucking and fighting every minute. And the families is like, I'm not getting in that. They both grown. But when it's time for the shit to hit the fan, everybody goes and has their families back, which they should. So, of course, KeKe mother will come out and advocate for her. Of course, Darius' brother will come out and advocate for him because, you want to have the back of your own family member in a situation like this. But I think they was locking ass, or they've been locking ass since they first got together. And I think they continue locking ass. The only difference is now we brought a baby into the situation, so it has caused the situation to heighten. And I think that everybody knew that they were fighting like that, but they also felt like they're grown. What do you want me to do? And I cannot lie. I've had friends and family members where I've done that. It's like I spoke to them. What do you want me to do? They grown. So I think the fighting been going on, and I just think, I think KeKe's celebrity is bigger. I think KeKe has more money. I think KeKe is very much more smarter than him. I think KeKe can handle fame better than him. So she navigated the situation to where she looks like the victim, which I get it. To some degree, you are. But also, what is the part you play? Because let's have you take accountability for that so you can grow from it. Not just because we're looking for somebody else to blame. No, because we don't want a year from now, you don't have a new man and now you have another domestic violence situation because you didn't learn from the last one. So while I like KeKe and while I did see the freeze frame footage of him putting his hands on her, I do believe that it's more to the story, a lot more. And I think both families know, and I think both families are on edge because both families feel like, listen, I done witnessed your brother do some shit and I done witnessed your daughter do some shit, and everybody's trying to play innocent because they don't want their person to get in trouble. We'll see how this all turns out. Let's see what the chat is saying. Oh, the chat is turned up with KeKe. Let me go all the way up. I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this. I really got to put my glasses on for this. All right. Oh, I'm getting old. All right. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Let me turn my mic around a little bit so you can still hear me while I look at the chat. Hold on, Hollywood. The chat got lit. Daya said, anything can really happen. Seriously, people change. Wasn't it a big trial on how that man was getting abused by the wife? Olinda said the baby name is Leotis. Well, listen, Cleophas or something like that. Y'all Google that and let me know what was the baby name. Kalila said she wanted more than dry humping. Oh my God. Sayudi said, I hate that we throw this domestic violence thing around so loosely too. Because if I beat your ass, it's not domestic violence. We both on time. Or am I bugging? Enlighten me, y'all. Pookie said the first one to call is the victim. Daya said the dance was dead wrong for real, especially if it wasn't a part of a booking. Give me my money before you slow grind on me, huh, Daya? She also said, but she probably needed to get that out from all the abuse that's been going on. Pookie said they both batshit crazy. Lila said KeKe got enough money to go and never look back. She wanted him to feel it. The mother lost me too. Why are they making it so public? Daya said she really did the same way. She really did the same way she felt that blow. These men be crazy and controlling. KeKe man is not right at all. Oh, I didn't know it was that deep. Sayudi said. Sayudi said, Lila said, if you don't like what somebody's doing, leave them. People be killing me. You don't gotta hit nobody. And then Jennifer said Uncle Steve told her, and Sayudi said, okay, so the shoes, why okay, so this shoe shows why KeKe was at the concert. Exactly. She wants the story to fit her narrative. We don't know what KeKe did, Lord. They said, damn, KeKe. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm all for protect Black women. I'm all for protect Black women. I'm a Black woman that wants to be protected. But I feel like sometimes we also get to a point where we want to protect Black women so much that we enable us. And I'm here to tell you, I don't want to be enabled, because if you enable me, I never grow. I never grow and I never learn. And I repeat the same mistakes. So you're going to be going through this with me again. You're going to be going through this with me again. This won't be the first time. It won't be the only time. Because when we went through it before, you coddled me and held my hand. So I thought that I didn't do anything wrong, which would allow me to repeat the same behaviors. And that's never cool. You have to learn from these circumstances. The chat also said, I felt her mother is hopeless, and it's probably why she reached out to the brother. It's interesting that she reached out to his brother and not his parents. That's an interesting dynamic. I agree. I definitely agree. What I will say is this, right? I think that KeKe is going to ride this to the wheels fall off. I think that she's America's sweetheart, so everybody's going to, rule in her favor. And I think that in the future, because of that, we will be dealing with another situation like this regarding KeKe Palmer, God forbid. That's what I will say. That's what I will say, and that's just my honest and unpopular opinion. Okay, so let's move on from KeKe, and we got one more topic to discuss. Listen, thumbs up if you have your drink, and also thumbs up in the chat. Thumbs up in the chat if you have your drink, your meal. Listen, screenshot me, send me the pictures and the videos. Let me know. Make sure you screen record whatever part of this was interesting to you and repost it, because this unpopular opinion got lit tonight. We have one more. This one may be a little lengthy because I didn't took notes on it. It was actually what was on the thumbnail, because I think we needed to discuss it because everybody else is talking about it, which is the young Jeezy and Nia Long discussion. Did you guys tune in to the young Jeezy and Nia Long discussion? Did anybody put the thumbs up in the chat if you have tuned into the young Jeezy and Nia Long situation? They said it was a discussion. I said it was a situation. Did I love it? No, I didn't love it. Did I think it was good for the culture and it was needed? Yes. I think folks needed to see a Black woman and a Black man have dialogue. I think that they are both very powerful people within the culture. So I think those two people sitting down was definitely impactful. I also think that where they both are in their situations, I think it made sense that they sit down and discuss Black men, Black women, communication between the two, romantic relationships, ego, attitude, forgiveness, growth, mental health. They had a good conversation. Okay, so when it started off, Jeezy was just sharing his traumas, right? So when he was sharing his traumas, Nia Long was kind of like making an assessment of all of the things that traumatized him. So I kind of didn't understand like where this was going. Is it she's interviewing him? Are they just having a discussion? Is he interviewing her? I kind of didn't really know. So let me clean my glasses. So I was like, okay, I'm listening. In which he shared, how he was exposed to molestation by a female babysitter, and how he was exposed to gun violence at a very young age, and all of the things that definitely would traumatize anybody. So that part I listened to. I was like, okay. Then he went off into discussing his mom. and he discussed how his mom was very rough and very harsh collectively, but definitely towards him, because she had some resentment towards his dad. So, they had a very, very tumultuous relationship. But what I did like about his conversation regarding his mom is he didn't say, like, he didn't make it seem like, oh, because of the way she was, effed him up. And no, he also showed like how some of her ways made him a good person, and how, it made him better, and how it taught him how to do some things that were good. So I did like the way he discussed his mom. He did say that his mom is deceased. She passed away during COVID, and then Nia Long started to share that her dad passed away as well, right after Kobe. So that was like a little moment where they connected and saw, like, okay, I see some of you and me, my sister, my brother. I saw a lot of people saying that they felt that there was like some romantic sparks. I don't know where I was, because I watched the interview twice and I didn't get that. I didn't get that. I didn't get anything romantic regarding them two. It made me feel like he was having a conversation with his older sister that he ain't seen in a long time, and he was just filling her in and she was giving feedback. They didn't give me like they had no googly eyes. So people were saying that, I was like, I mean, I guess I didn't see that, right? Okay, fine. What I assessed about Nia Long, right, is she doesn't really do many interviews when she's not discussing a project. So this was the first time I seen her in an interview where she was just regular. Because normally when she is in an interview, she talk about, oh, I have this movie coming out, and the conversation is solely focused on that. This interview, when you got to see her kind of be very personal, right? I could see that she is very guarded. She is very guarded. She is very guarded, and she is very hurt. And not in the sense that she was acting mean or being stink. No, no, no. It was none of that. She was definitely her dialogue was very soothing, and she spoke in a very authoritative tone, but not a tone that was threatening. She definitely showed up as, I done been through some shit and I'm not playing with nobody, but I'm still trying to be nice. That's kind of what I got from it, right? And I want to be honest, because one of the things that I felt, me personally, I don't know if you guys are familiar with her situation with Ime Udoka and all of that. You got to watch another one of my YouTube videos, my unpopular opinions, to know that situation. Matter of fact, I'll drop down in the chat and leave the link to it so you can hear the whole story about her and her boo and what they went through. But I don't even think that her guardedness and her need to show up so strong comes from just that situation. She gave, from what she discussed in the interview, that she's heartbroken from her dad. It started from there. It started from there. He was not around. He did not properly love her. They did not have a good relationship. So I think when it starts off with the man who was supposed to guide and protect and provide and nurture and be the template for what it looks like to judge a man, I did not have. And every man I had after that disappointed me. So she showed up, in my opinion, in an interview guarded, but not guarded in a way that made her mean and nasty. You can just sense that, I don't play. And I get that. I get that. And she did discuss, which made me kind of sad because she started crying, is that, she is so tired of having to show up strong, because that's not really who she is. She is very soft and loving and things of that nature, but she kind of doesn't get the opportunity in the world we live in to show up that way. Right. And I want to say something about that, because I had a conversation about this the other night, and it's a part of my own healing journey that I want to share. Right. I am the most emotional, empathetic, loving, compassionate person on the planet. I am. At my natural core, that's who I am. I want to help everybody. I want to solve every problem. I want to make everything right, and I want everybody to be happy. Right? Throughout my experiences in life, when people assessed that I was that way, they took advantage of that, right? And when I realized that I was being taken advantage of, I developed a very hard and mean exterior to protect me from being taken advantage of, right? But when I got on my healing journey, one of the promises that I made to myself is to be my true self, no matter what the rest of the world is doing or being. Right. So sometimes in a situation where it can look like to other folks or feel like to other folks that because of who I am, I'm being taken advantage of. For me, it's just me being my true self. I don't give a fuck what nobody else is doing or being. So I think that when you are on the healing journey, you have to really, 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 really be adamant as showing up as your true self. And what I got from Nia is that she was saying, I can't be my true self because of the world we live in. I always ask people this in healing heart sessions. Well, if you are showing up with your representative every single day, how happy are you? How happy are you? If you could never be your true self, how happy are you? Right. So when she shared that, my heart broke for her because number one, she needs an Operation Heal 100 heart session. And number two, I think that the space should be created for everybody to be one true self. Right. And if you don't have that, or there's no space created for you to do that, or you can't create that space for yourself, or you don't have the courage to do that, then who are you? And are you really happy? And I want to just give some of my own personal relationship situation. Pookie and I, he's going to kill me in the chat. We had to talk about this the other night. And we both, again, one of the things that make our relationship so strong is because I know for me, I have been created the space. I have been creating the space. I've actually been told that was one of the reasons why Pookie is in love with me because of who I am. So I feel so comfortable being vulnerable and nurturing and loving and empathetic and compassionate because it's who I truly am. And then I have somebody that accepts that, right? So what the conversation we had the other night is that he is a little opposite in that regard from me because he has boundaries. So for him, he can be that way, but he also can put up boundaries. That's a part of who he is. And what I noticed that I had did, and I had to apologize for, was I had started to create the space of making him feel like a villain because of who he is. So when he's created his boundaries, I'm here making it seem like he's being mean or he's a bad guy because he's not being who I witness and I see. And what he explained to me was, no, I am all of that. I am loving and considering and caring when the time calls for it. But Khadijah, I'm also a person who can put up boundaries when it doesn't. Just because I'm not you doesn't make me a bad person. And I felt bad because now I'm cultivating the space of making you feel like you're the villain when you're doing and being who you are. And I don't want that because, like I just told you guys, I've always been given the space to be who I am. I have to also create the space for others to do the same. So it was really eye opening to see her cry about having to, show up strong, and that's not who she is. But my thing about those type of people is, are you happy? Because the other part of that is because you're showing up with your representative every day, that's a lot of armor to put on every day. Some days that can make you miserable. Do you realize that that's who you are showing up in the world as? So that was something that, it was really eye opening in that moment. And it also was relatable because of my own relationship, right? Another part, Jeezy talked about unconditional love. Jeezy talked about unconditional love, right? And one of the things that he said, let me pause for a second. If you're here, I don't see the likes adding up to the viewers. Make sure you hit the thumbs up and you go like this video. Go like this video. Go like this video. But anyway, when Young Jeezy was talking about unconditional love, it made me think, right? And podcast coming really soon because what I realized is I have a lot of similar conversations in different settings. So like case in point, Sayudi and Daya is here. Sayudi and Daya and I are in a group chat. We have a conversation. I could come home and have that identical conversation with Pookie. I could go to work and have that identical conversation with Melissa and Olinda. It just lets me know that in these spaces, people want to have these conversations. And these are things that people want to discuss and get clarity and gain knowledge and get other people's perspectives on. That's why I said podcast coming soon, because then I'll have these conversations on the podcast and we can all chime in. But one of the things, one of my good friends texted me a couple of weeks ago, she said, let me ask you a question, Deja. So I was like, what's up? She said, do you think if you have the ability to give love unconditional, does that mean that you lack self-love? Right? And when she sent me the question, it was so crazy because I had this conversation like the day before, that morning. So it's like, oh God, here we go again. Let me give you the response that I gave everybody else. And I want everybody to be clear, right? People, unconditional love makes people feel like you have to have unconditional tolerance. Let me repeat that. And if you hear in the chat, I want you to write it in there. Unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance. Let me say it for a third time. Unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance, right? And I say that because people think that unconditional love has to look the way they feel it should look, or you don't really love me. That's not it. That's not it. That is not it. That is not it. I have family members and former friends who I love dearly and would do anything for. But the sidebar of that is I do not have to deal with some of these people's ways, actions, and behaviors. So because of that, I deal with them a certain way, right? So, like, case in point, let's just say you're a family member of mine, right? And we got into, you stole from me, right? Let's say you're a family member that stole from me. My feelings are hurt. You stole from me. That action, in my opinion, is so disrespectful because I'm not stingy. You could ask me for anything. So the fact that you went behind my back and took something from me without consulting with me about it, it hurts me. So because of that, you are not allowed at my house. You have no access to anything that I have, but I still love you. So if anything happened to you today or tomorrow, I would come and I would stand front and center for you. If there is something, outside of the boundaries that I've set that I can give to you, I will, because I love you. But because I don't have to tolerate your bullshit, I am not allowing you back in my space to steal again. Now, that same family member would turn around and say to me, well, you don't let me come to your house no more, so you don't love me. You lie. Wow, I don't. Because you also the person that called me and said to me that you didn't have any money to get any lunch, and I'll cash at you the money because I love you and I don't want you to be malnourished. The least I could do for you is make sure you have a meal. And I can do that for you because I love you. But because I don't let you in my house and that's something you feel I should do, you're going to tell me I don't love you. That's not true. Unconditional love does not have to equate to unconditional tolerance. And what people want you to do is put them first. Never do that. Never do that. I'm going to tell you why. Because anybody that loves you is going to want to put you first. Because when you take care of you first, then I know that you can take care of me. But if you don't even have the wherewithal to take care of you, how the fuck are you going to take care of me? So no, I want you to put you first. I want you to take care of you. I want you to love you. And when you're done doing so, you will definitely have the capacity to do the same for me if you choose to. So no, unconditional love does not mean you have to lack self-love. I can love you unconditionally, and I can also do that in the ways that I see fit, not the ways that you want me to. Now, granted, motherfuckers gonna call you bitches, they're gonna say you mean, they're gonna say you this, they're gonna say you that. That just comes with the territory. Because as long as I put you first, as long as I'm showing you that I don't matter. And the more I do that is the more you're gonna feel that way. I don't matter. That doesn't work for me. Okay, so that was another little nugget I got from the Jeezy and the Nia Long into. They kept dropping little words and giving meanings like ego, mental health, forgiveness, forget it. I mean, I like that. I thought that was cool. It was also a part where Nia Long talked about having hope. that Black women and Black men could sit down and talk respectfully through their traumas. So instead of as a family separating, they could stay together and make things work because both parties are willing to do the work. And I agree with Nia. I also think it's doable. The only caveat I would have to that is you have to keep in mind Nia and Jeezy, as far as I can see, are two people sitting together who don't have any romantic feelings for one another. So, like, case in point, one of my male best friends is Kenny. I can sit and talk to Kenny about anything. I'm not fucking him and I don't have no feelings for him. But my dialogue with Kenny is not the same dialogue that I have with Pookie. You know why? Because my feelings are wrapped up and nestled in everything that we do because of how I feel about you. And one thing about feelings and emotions, they do not always allow you to be rational. So whereas with a friend, you can be a little bit more rational because there's not so many feelings and emotions involved to kind of taint how you think. When you are romantically intertwined with another person, all that rational, this makes sense and this is logical, all that goes out the window because of how you feel. Right? So it's an elite level of self-awareness that you have to be able to do that. So while I do agree with Nia Long, yes, I think Black women and Black men should be able, as a couple, if that's what it is, again, it could be Black woman, Black woman, Black man, Black man. I'm just using what she used, right? Spouses should be able to have the conversation that we sit down and talk about our traumas and also work through them so we can maintain a relationship. But I have to be so self-aware and I have to have the space created for me to be genuine in this moment and not consider my feelings. Right? So like I just shared with you guys a little while ago, I was able to say, like, Khadija, acknowledge that you and this man are two different people and who his differences don't make you better than him. They just make him different from you. But if the old me would have been on some, I'm just saying what I feel because I feel like you wrong. And yeah, you would feel that way because your bossy ass don't see it in any other way. That's your shit. That's not his shit. But we can do that 7+ years in. That's not easy. And in all fairness to any relationship, it's not always easy because some days we can't do it. So some days we refrain from having a conversation at all, which is another thing that you shouldn't do because all relationships need communication. Right. So I agree with Nia about that. I agree with her about humans having connection. I agree with her about wanting to feel soft. She definitely has some points there. With Jeezy, he said that he tried therapy with Jeannie Mai. What it sounded like to me was when Jeannie and the mama in there calling Jeezy niggas and shit, I'm like, what was going on? Because what I get from Jeezy is that something was not something. I don't feel like it was one isolated incident. I feel like a few things took place, and I feel like he feels like he was kind of, allowing certain things for the sake of baby, the marriage, the this, the that. And I think when he got to a space to say, I love myself, I ain't got to deal with this, it was like, boom, the gamut came down and I'm done with this. But I would love to hear what was some of those things that led up to the I'm done with this. Because he is very adamant about being done with it. Like, you can tell in a lot of his conversation, it's like, I did that, I tried, I love me, and this is where I am next. But yeah, no, great. God is good, and yes, love is love. And oh, okay, great, yeah. But I'm not doing that. I did that. I'm done. And that persistence to be done, it makes me feel like it was a long time coming. It wasn't just something no, it was a long time coming. So, I mean, we may never get it. And in all fairness, to be honest, the way it's being so held to the chest makes Jeezy admirable because in all fairness, marriages are sacred, relationships are sacred. So if you want to keep it to yourself, I ain't mad about that. The nosy part of me want to know what happened, but the fact that you are keeping it so close to the chest, and so is she, is admirable because you will want somebody to, keep the privacy, and keep the relationship intact because it's not a good thing when you let the rest of the world in your business. So I do think that it's a good thing that, he's keeping things in check and intact, right? I mean, private and intact. He said real niggas don't cheat. I agree. I agree. I agree. I think, I'm sorry, y'all. I agree that real men don't cheat. I also agree that there's a shortage on real men. I think that people think that when you have certain qualities, then that qualifies you to be 100% solid. When me personally, I don't think that you get to pick and choose the qualities that you have that make you solid. I think you need to have all the qualities that make you solid. But that's also contingent upon who's making the assessment, right? I've seen situations where women have said, I'm dating this man. I watched him try to be a father. The mother wouldn't let him, so he gave up. That's my boo. I'm sticking beside him. I, that doesn't, that to me doesn't constitute a real man. Not at all. But the person that's with him, they are assessing that differently. I hear you. I hear you. The person that would give up on parenting is also the person that would give up on a relationship and go get their dick sucked, okay? And would cheat on you. So it all comes down to what Jeezy said, which is exactly how I feel integrity. It comes down to integrity. And all real men and women have integrity. And sometimes it's a struggle to maintain it, and sometimes it's not always easy, and depending on the world we live in, and sometimes it shifts, and I hear all of that, but it needs to be present because those are one of the character traits that would clarify if you're a real nigga or not. So what I think about Jeezy is I think he is right in saying, stand up solid men, they don't cheat, because the solid men that want multiple women are not in relationships because they are not ready. That's keeping their integrity intact. Why would I go get a woman and say I want to be with her knowing that's not what I want? I want to be with multiple women. That's not a solid man. So it's layers. It's layers to that comment. And I agree with Jeezy. I agree with Jeezy on that. I really, really do. And I don't think nobody's perfect. I think people do make mistakes. I think that people can learn from those mistakes. I think that people can repeat them. It's just contingent upon the person that you're dealing with and you being self-aware and knowing who you are and if you can deal with that or you can't. So you'll have some men say, oh, I made one mistake and she left me. She may be self-aware enough to know that she could never trust you again, so she had the role. That'll make her not a solid woman. That makes her a self-aware one. And a self-aware woman is a solid woman. I'm here to tell you. That just may not look like that once again to that person. Right? So it was just a lot of conversations. It was a lot of conversations. And, I think that it needed to be had. I didn't see a lick of romantic interest in neither one of them eyes. He even went as far to point out, like, you my sister right now. You giving me advice. Like, that's how I felt. I didn't get like they liked each other at all. He kind of, in my opinion, was a little bit more reserved in her presence. And she was giving me like the big sister that's letting you know type of thing. So, in the end, Jeezy talked about loving himself and doing what he needed to do. And Nia talked about women being able to trust men to lead. And I mean, again, you have to be very much aware, not just of self, but of others, and knowing your boundaries and what you can take. And if you are a person that can't take a cheating man to lead you, you should never trust him to do so. Okay? Because at the end of the day, after you trust him to do so and he do exactly what you knew he was going to do, you cannot stand in the background and say, because of what he did, I'm going to need everybody to protect Black women. No, we're going to need to hold you accountable. Why the fuck did you trust him to do that when you knew the bullshit that came with it? So it's a lot of nuances with this, but the conversation was good. I enjoyed the conversation. I enjoyed it. I pray that the opposite sex, even when you're not romantically entwined, just like Jeezy and Nia, I pray that we all can get to a point where we're having real talk and real dialogue, and also we're checking each other and being able to create the space for folks to share openly. I thought it was a cool conversation. I thought it was good. I think they both have some more healing they need to do, and I think it would be nice to see it happen. The way they showed it in public and live in real time, and it was nice. I enjoyed it. I think you guys should check it out. Let me know the perspective you got from it. I'm also going to drop down in the description and leave the situation with Nia and her boo Ime Doko and all that they went through, because I talked about it on another unpopular opinion, and why, like I said, I felt like she was so guarded. But the interview was good. Jeezy is going around giving interviews. He said a lot of stories too that I felt two ways about. One is either he's so deep in the healing that he's freaking, I don't know, maybe he was a spiritual advisor, or he's making some of this shit up for his album, his book. I don't know. But either way, he seems to be very deep in the healing journey. And we're gonna hope and pray that all this is genuine for him to become a better man. As far as him and his still wife at the moment, even though my nosy ass wanna know what happened, I also appreciate how private that the both of them are being, because I know for me, I would be mortified to see Pookie go to the internet and tell all our business when now you have everybody in what's supposed to be sacred between you and I. Whether it's good or bad, it's still between me and you. So even though I want to know because I'm nosy, I do admire that the both of them are keeping very tight-lipped about their still marriage. All right, let me look at the chat and see what's going on, because we're about to end this live. We've been up here for over an hour and a half, and we done had some good talk. I love the live chat. Pookie said, Jeezy, my man, me trying to sell that book. Lila said, Jeezy, what happened with that Chinese lady? Tell the truth. And Pookie said, it's hard dating certain religions. And hold on, I went down too far. Sayudi said, what's tea? And they said, Jeezy keep talking in circles. What happened with Chinatown? And they said he should have never went to Chinatown. I feel him for not out in the ling ling. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, I would have held it down as well. Kalila said, that's what I'm saying. All these black queens. I always love to talk about Nia Long. You could love from a distance. You don't have to stay around and get treated bad. Yes. Wow, that was profound. I must have said some deep mess on here. Hello. And you got to allow people to love how they love. That's facts. And they said that's some selfish mess. You got to set some boundaries. Someone pointed out that it's funny that they had the whole, we have to protect black women. We need black women, but he married out his race. Yeah, I don't know about that one. They tried to turn the crib to Chinatown. She was moving her whole family in the spot. That was the word on the curb. The brother, the mom, yes. It sounds like I want to watch it there and say, yeah, it was very good. It was very good in conversation between black men and black women. But like I said, I just would like to see it come full circle in real time. Right. But oh my God, I love you all. You guys were tuned in tonight. So let me know, do you guys like the live much better? I'm going to drop a Dear DJ tomorrow. I love doing my unpopular opinion because now I do a live and I love the interactive piece of it, right? We just got to get all y'all friends and family on it because we got to continue making it grow. I want to tell y'all something. Once it gets to a certain point, of course, if it's so many people in the live chat, I won't be able to read the live chat. So I'm going to get a call in line. I told myself that if it got to a certain point where there was so many viewers on when I'm on live, I'll get a call in line and you can call in live and speak your piece. So let me know if that's something you guys might be interested in. I think it would be a great thing to do. And I also think it creates a space for us to have some real dialogue and get some different perspectives, because I'm here just talking live, but what I'm saying is not law. It could be another perspective that might be better about a situation that I'm discussing. So we covered your girl Croissant, Zaya. We talked about Omarion, CB, and G Herbo. We talked about KeKe, the baby father, the brother, and the mama. And we talked about Jeezy Nia. So if there is some snippets of this live that you liked, make sure you screen record it and post it. Make sure you take your screenshot and send it to me. I appreciate all of you guys being here. A Dear DJ's coming tomorrow. And I think I'm going to do another popular opinion this week. I love you, love you, love you guys. Listen. Okay, let's talk about the shows. Go watch. What time is it? Oh, 8-9 minutes. I'm ready to roll. My dinner already cooked. Let me heat up Pookie Food. Go watch tonight. Real Housewives of Potomac, Married to Medicine. That's on Bravo. Tomorrow we doing Basketball Wives. Y'all know Real Housewives of Miami is back. They already have one episode out on Peacock, but they're on Wednesdays on Bravo. We're watching The Impact. We're watching House of Villains. We're watching The Kardashians. Fourth went off last week, so we got to find something to do on Friday, but the writer's strike is over, so it's lit. Listen, y'all get up on these shows. So when I come back with my unpopular opinion, I'm coming back talking my mess, and I might just come back tomorrow because I might want to talk about Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine that come on tonight. So I'm tune in so we can have a discussion, or I might save the video for Tuesday where I can talk about Monday night shows and Sunday night shows, and we could pop by jump. If other things are current in news, I'll keep you posted. Like I said, go watch the Coi Leray interview. Go like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, your family. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Go watch Real Housewives of Potomac so we can pop our junk about Robin. So see you later. Bye-bye.